Alright, what is up everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today is the first of the new month, which means it is power rankings time, the last power rankings of the 2025 season. That's what we're doing here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, getting closer and closer as the days go on. So all support around the channel will be very much appreciated. Link to my Twitter and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. Starting number 30, we have the Washington Wizards at 16-58, last in the Eastern Conference. 30th rated offense, 28th rated defense, and our 30th net rating. They stay the same from last power ranking video. The Wizards, I mean, we know what they're trying to do. I mean, with these bottom tier teams that are going to be in the lottery, already eliminated and stuff like that, we're not going to really spend a whole lot of time on that. I'm going to spend a lot more time on them when I do my look-in series, which season 3 is going to be starting very soon for the look-in series where at the end of each team season, I go in, look at how they're performed, look at the future and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that if you want to know about the rebuilding teams and the tanking teams and all that stuff. But the Wizards, yeah, they're just kind of running out a lot of different guys out there. Alex Sarr, their top pick, is having a really underrated rookie year. I feel like he has had some pretty good games. I feel like he should get a lot more attention. Bub Carrington's been solid, so is Keyshawn George. Kobe Jones been getting some minutes, and he's actually looked pretty solid. I like what Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton have been doing so far. They've been bringing, some different veteran type of leadership over there. Jordan Poole is still having his good year. They're playing a lot of different guys, like JT Thor is getting minutes out there. Jalen Martin is getting minutes. And yeah, the Wizards are just tanking right now. So yeah, maybe Sadiq Bey will play eventually. I don't really know. But yeah, we all know what the Wizards are kind of trying to do right now. At 29, we have the Utah Jazz. They are 16-59, last in the West and the worst record in the NBA right now. They have the 24th rated offense, 29th rated defense, and are 28th in net rating. They drop one spot from last power ranking video. Utah, once again, similar to what the Wizards are willing to say about a couple other teams next. We know what they're trying to do. They're trying to tank, go get Cooper Flag and all this stuff. But the rookie class has not been bad. I like some of their guys. Isaiah Collier has been one of the top assists rookies in the league. He's taken over the starting spot, and he's been pretty good. Kyle Filipowski, they got in the second round, has had some good games, 20-point games and stuff, and he's looked, up to par. You got Walker Kessler having a really good season. Bryce Sensabaugh has shown some things as of recently. Keontae George lost his starting spot, but, still trying to find his way in the league and has had some pretty decent moments as a second-year guy. But, yeah, Jazz, again, trying to go out, trying to tank. But some of their young guys are starting to look, they look decent, some of their young guys. At 28, we have the Charlotte Hornets. They are 18-56 at 14th in the East. 29th rated offense, 21st rated defense, are 27th in net rating. They jump up one spot from last power ranking video. They shut down LaMelo Ball for the rest of the season, giving him ankle wrist procedures so he can come in for a clear 2026. And yeah, they're another team where they're just kind of playing whoever. I mean, Marcus Garrett, has been getting minutes. Damian Ball has been playing. Nick Smith Jr. has had some decent moments, good shooting nights here and there. But yeah, not really much for the Hornets to play for. Their injury list is basically their entire rotation. At 27, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. They are 21-54 at 14th in the West. They have the 25th rated offense, 30th defense, and 29th in net rating. They stay the same from last power ranking video. Zion, when he has played, has been phenomenal this year. I've already made a video about him about a week or two ago, so you can go back and check that out, talking about Zion Williamson. And that's really, Trey Murphy's now out for the rest of the season with a shoulder injury, so that really, really sucks. And they also are playing just a lot of random dudes. Yves Missy has still been solid. They're playing Keon Brooks Jr. He's getting minutes. He's actually been decent. But yeah, Pelicans and another team not really playing for anything except for a draft pick. At 26, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. They are 23-52 at 13th in the East. The 23rd rated offense, 27th rated defense, and a 25th net rating. They drop one spot from last power ranking video. 76ers, another team. They've shut it all down, playing for a draft pick. And yeah, I was kind of, I had the game on, the Sixer Raptors, just because it's like the 4 screen. I just put it in just because I was like, yeah, whatever, the game's on. And they are playing some, their lineups out there are crazy. They're playing guys I'm not Marcus Bagley's playing Philip Wheeler. I have no idea who Philip Wheeler is. I saw him on the court and I was like, bro, who is that? Like that's their. I mean, Alex Reese. Like their entire rotation is literally like a G League team. Like if you put that lineup in a G League game, I'd be like, oh yeah, the G League. But this is like it's wild. The lineups the lineups the Sixers are putting out there right now. But hey, anything to get that draft pick, and right now they're putting themselves in a pretty good position to get that to keep that first round pick. At 25, we have the Brooklyn Nets. They are 24 and 51 at 12th in the East. They have the 20th rated offense, 23rd rated defense, and are 26th in net rating. They dropped one spot from last power ranking video. Nets, you know what they trying to do? Tank. They still get some games sometimes. They're still sometimes in games. You know, they just signed Drew Timmy, Gonzaga star, and so far first two games has been pretty solid. Nick Claxton is still playing. Keon Johnson's having a pretty solid year. Trendon Watford is playing a lot more. And yeah, we're just getting also them just playing a bunch of random guys and trying to go get that lottery pick. At 24, you have the Toronto Raptors. They are 28 and 47 at 11 in the Eastern Conference. They have the 26th rated offense, 14th rated defense, and a 24th in net rating. They jump up 2 spots from last power ranking video. I said it, you know, when I was talking about second half of the season and stuff like that. The Raptors had the easiest schedule left in the NBA. And in the month of March, they actually did pretty good. In the month of March, they actually won 10 games. They went 10 and 5 in the month of March, and they're currently on a 4-game win streak. Those 4 wins are against the Wizards, Nets, Hornets, and Sixers. 4 teams that we already talked about on this power ranking. And their schedule doesn't get really any much harder. You know, I mean, they get a couple more games against better teams, but hey, you know, they've been playing well. I'm sure Masai Ujiri is furious right now that they're winning, but I mean, this Raptor team has good enough talent, and they're doing an interesting thing where they're playing their guys like 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, Scotty Barnes, RJ, you guys sit. You guys are gonna sit the fourth quarter, and yeah, even still, you know, I mean, there's a game against the Magic where they sat their guys the last couple minutes, and then Jacoby Walter hit a 3-pointer to win the game, or AJ Lawson had a 30-point game. They just still find a way to win sometimes, you know. They just have good enough talent. So shout out to the Raptors, I guess, for still winning, and shout out to Masai Ujiri because I know he's furious out they're winning these games. At 23, we have the San Antonio Spurs. They are 31 and 43 at 13th in the West. They have the 17th rated offense, 23rd rated defense, and a 22nd in net rating. They dropped down 1 spot from last power ranking video. With no Wemby and no De'Aaron Fox for the rest of the season. It's just really kind of let the other guys go out there and play. You know, Stephon Castle, Keldon Johnson, Sandro Mamukelashvili had a big game. And yeah, let's just let the young guys go out there, play. You know, see if maybe we can get a decent little draft pick and then come back next year with Wemby and De'Aaron fully healthy. Hopefully Greg Popovich will see what happens with that. You know, hopefully he come back coaching at some point, but who knows? You never really know. With Taylor Jenkins out there, maybe they go get Taylor Jenkins. Maybe they believe Mitch Johnson's the guy for the future. I don't really know. But yeah, the Spurs rest of the year is just kind of like, all right, let's tank now for the rest of the season. At 22, we have the Miami Heat. They are 33 and 41 at 10th in the East. The 21st rated offense, 10th rated defense, and our 17th in net rating. They dropped down 5 spots from last power ranking video, tied for the biggest drop in the power rankings. Miami went on a big struggle bus. I mean, they were on a 10-game losing streak in the month of March. You know, now they're currently won their last 4 games, beat the Sixers, Hornets, Warriors, Hawks. So they're starting to maybe find a little bit of their way back into it. But it was a real struggle for them, man. I mean, the offense was bad. The fourth quarter offense in general, the clutch offense was really, really bad. Like it was just looking not good at all over there. Maybe the last 4 games, maybe they kind of found a little bit of a rhythm. You know, Tyler Hero's been good. Andrew Wiggins is starting to really find his way. Bam Adebayo's been a lot more aggressive recently. So maybe they're slowly starting to find their rhythm right now. But it's going to be very tough for the rest of the season for them. You know, struggling down in the play-in. I mean, the Bulls overlap them. It's been really, really rough for this month of March. At 21, we have the Portland Trail Blazers. They are 32 and 43 at 12th in the West. They have the 22nd rated offense, 19th rated defense, and a 23rd in net rating. They dropped down 1 spot from last power ranking video. Portland had been hot. They have kind of come down a little bit, but they're still a very competitive team. I mean, they are on a 4-game losing streak, but they were just on a 4-game winning streak. It's been really streaky. You know, I mean, they won a 6-game win streak, 4-game losing streak, 4-game win streak, 5-game losing streak, 4-game win streak, 4-game losing streak. They just kind of been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But that's what you kind of think of when you think of a young team. Denny Avdia has been absolutely amazing. He's looked like a star player over this past little month, and want to do maybe a breakdown video of him. I might do one eventually at some point in the next couple of days. Do a breakdown of Denny if he has another big game because he has just been incredible to watch. They're still a fun team that can still give a good team some, a good fight once in a while, and that's all right to see. You're seeing change with this team, you're seeing development of players and all that stuff. Very interested to see what happens in the future, what pick they get. Chauncey Billups, is he still around? Do they go get maybe a guy like Terry Jenkins who's now in the free agent coaching pool? Maybe they go get him. Who knows? But Portland has shown some development this year, especially in the second half of the season, last few months, and I'm very excited to see what the future looks like. At 20, we have the Phoenix Suns. They're 35 and 40 at 11 in the West. They have the 10th rated offense, 26 defense, and a 20th in net rating. They jump up one spot from last power ranking video. The Suns had a tiniest bit of hope, when they went on a 4-game win streak. They were 2 games under 500, climbed up to make the 10 spot, taking over Sacramento, Dallas, being in there. And then they've just lost the last 3 games and just gotten smacked. Lost by 30 to Boston, lost by 15 to Minnesota, and then last night they lost by almost 40 to the Rockets. And Kevin Durant also gets hurt in that game. We found out Kevin Durant's going to miss a week, and they have a tough schedule. Their next 5 games are against the Bucks, Celtics, Knicks, Warriors, and Thunder. And these last 2 games even are against the Spurs and Kings. Or with the Kings, that could be a big game because they're fighting with the Kings for that last playing spot. So they have, I think, the hardest schedule left in basketball. And they're not going to have Kevin Durant for the next at least maybe 3-ish games. So it's going to be very, very rough for them. Yeah, I mean, again, they gave us a slither of hope. A little bit of hope they had. And it's kind of all going down the drain. And, man, I just cannot wait to see what this offseason, how dramatic this offseason looks like for the Suns. At 19, we have the Sacramento Kings. They are 36 and 38 at 10th in the West. They have the 7th rated offense, 22nd rated defense, 15th in net rating. They dropped down 3 spots from last power ranking video. The Kings have been kind of losing it recently. They've lost 9 of their last 12 games. They've dropped from 4 games above 500 to 2 games under 500 in a span of the month. And things are not going great. Sabonis missed a couple games. They have injuries. There were reports the other day talk about Sabonis might request a trade if things don't look right this offseason. They just got destroyed by 30 to the Magic, a team that can barely score 100 points. They just lost by 30 and gave 121 points to them. So yeah, it's been a big struggle for them. The offense just doesn't really look the same. The defense has just been horrible. And yeah, it's rough for the Kings. If not for the Suns being very, very bad, the Kings would be in a really weird spot too. So I just interested to see what this Kings offseason looks like because I don't know what the future holds for them. At 18, we have the Chicago Bulls. They are 33 and 41 at 9th in the East. They have the 20th rated offense, 24th rated defense, and are 21st in net rating. They jump up 5 spots from last power ranking video, tied for the biggest jump in the power rankings. Chicago has been on fire recently. They've won 9 of their last 12 games. They went on 2 separate 4-game winning streaks, some insane finishes, and they've jumped up. They overlapped Miami. They're in a little bit of a race with Atlanta right above them. They could potentially be a 7 or 8 seed, and chance of them making the playoffs are looking a little bit more realistic, which for fans, I don't really know how great that is, but for the GM and for the players, this is great. I mean, some of their guys are playing really good. Josh Giddey has been incredible in the second half of the season since coming back from All-Star break. He has been absolutely insane. Kobe White's been on a heater. Montas Buzelis has had some big nights as well. The offense is pumping. They scored at least 110 points in since in the month of February, they scored at least 110 in all but 2 games. Since the month of February, they've scored at least 110 points in every game except for 2 of them. So their offense right now is humming. I mean, these last couple games, 125, 114, 121, 116, 114, 121, 128, 146 on the Lakers, 129. Back-to-back games of 119. They only lost by 1 to the Mavericks the other day. So it's been popping right now in Chicago. They've been a fun team in the last couple months, the last couple weeks, and that's not something that you could say too often about the Bulls in the last couple years. So shout out to Chicago. They're bringing people in their arena. They're having some fun, and maybe they make a playoff appearance. Who knows if they keep playing like this? At 17, we have the Orlando Magic. They are 36 and 39 at 8th in the East. They have the 27th rated offense, 2nd rated defense, and are 18th in net rating. They jump up 1 spot from last power ranking video. Orlando, was on a big struggle. In the middle of January, February, they're on a big struggle, but they're slowly starting to turn around. They won 6 of their last 9 games. They're starting to put up 100 points again, which is good. Paulo Banchero has been on a heater in the last 2 weeks, and things are starting to look more similar to the early season Magic than the late season Magic, which it's a better time than never. It's better late than never, is what I'm trying to say, for them to start clicking a little bit. Things have been going a lot better. They have had a little bit of an easier schedule, but with them, wins are wins. They just need every win they can get when you're under 500 in this type of situation in the Eastern Conference. And it's good to see them kind of finally try to find their rhythm a little bit this point in the season. At 16, we have the Dallas Mavericks. They're 37-38 at 9th in the West. They have the 14th rated offense, 17th rated defense, and a 16th in net rating. They dropped down 2 spots from last power ranking video. The Mavs feel like they've just been getting kicked and kicked and kicked, with Kyrie Irving missing the rest of the year now due to an ACL injury. They're on a big struggle, but they've won 4 of their last 5 games, and Anthony Davis is back, and since Anthony Davis come back, they have not lost. Well, in games he's played, they lost against the Knicks, but Anthony Davis didn't play that game. But they're 4-0 when Anthony Davis plays. Going back also to his first game against the Rockets, and now they're starting to, clean up a little bit, and now they're only 1 game under 500 with a couple games to go. Next game against Brooklyn, Atlanta. They do play 2 Clippers and a Laker game, but not a crazy hard schedule to maybe make it over 500. And I feel like they're almost guaranteed locked to make a play-in, especially if Anthony Davis is playing. When Anthony Davis is on the court for them, this team wins because he might not be putting up insane numbers. He's not putting up 27, 13, and 4 with 5 blocks. He's not doing that type of stuff, but just having his presence on the court, being a guy that can consistently they can go to and he can get 15 to 20 points. Being a defensive anchor. They just need some consistency on the court is what they needed, and he's provided that. He's impacted the game a whole lot. And again, they have won games with Anthony Davis on the court. They have not lost with Anthony Davis yet. So with him out there, looks like they're guaranteed to be a play-in lock. And maybe, who knows, if they only need to win 2 games or 1 or 2 games to make a playoff appearance, who says Anthony Davis can't do that and they can make a playoff appearance? Would it be the best for them? I don't know. But that just kind of looks like what the reality is going to be unless they really tank these last 7 games. Oh, no, how many? Yeah, 7 games left. And just say Anthony Davis don't come back. I don't know. But even then, they're also going to have to hope that the Suns and Kings win games, and those 2 teams can't really do that well right now. So it looks like Dallas probably making a play-in appearance this year at least. At 15, we have the Atlanta Hawks. They are 36-38 at 7th in the East. They have the 19th rated offense, 18th rated defense, and are 19th in net rating. They jump up 4 spots from last power ranking video. Atlanta had a decent month of March. They went 9-5. They're back to only 2 games under 500. A lock probably for a 7 or 8 seed unless they have a terrible collapse in these last 8 games that they play. But it's been decent. They have had injuries and all this stuff, but Trae Young has still been good. Dyson Daniels has still been doing his thing. Zachary Versace just had a big game last night. I just did a show about him. You can go back and check that out. But he's been pretty solid. And then you're getting good contribution like Georges Niang has been on fire. Georges Niang is shooting 43% from 3, averaging 13 points per game since coming to Atlanta. Karis LeVert's give you almost 15 points per game on pretty good shooting. Eric Okongwu's been doing his thing. Terrence Mann has provided some recent minutes. Mohamed Gay has been solid as a starter. So, the Hawks are getting some good work from some of their role players. And all of a sudden, they've been winning games. They just destroyed Milwaukee last night. Well, I'm recording this on Monday. You're seeing this on Tuesday. For me, it's last night. For you, it's 2 days ago. They just destroyed Milwaukee in Milwaukee. So, they've been winning some games. It looks like they're going to probably make a playoff appearance against Boston or Cleveland. And, they've been a little bit exciting to say. That's the one good thing you could talk about them. And, again, some of the role players are playing very well recently. At 14, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. They are 40-34, down to 6th in the East. They have the 15th rated offense, 11th rated defense, and a 12th in net rating. They dropped down 4 spots from last power ranking video. The Bucks, it's been a real struggle for them. We learned Damian Lillard will miss a lot of time due to blood clot in his thigh, I want to say. I don't remember exactly, but he looks like he maybe might miss the rest of the year in playoffs and stuff. They've lost 9 of their last 13 games, a lot of them against some good teams. And it's been a real struggle for them, man. Kyle Kuzma still hasn't really found his shot. The offense just hasn't really been clicking a whole lot. And things are not looking great right now for the Bucks. And they've fallen down to 6th when they were just, holding on to that 4 seed. They've gotten lapped by Indiana and Detroit. And it's looking real tough. They're going to have a tough battle right now. The season's going to end right now. They would have a tough battle with the Knicks in the first round. And I just don't know. Without Damian Lillard, I just don't really trust the rest of this Milwaukee Bucks team to go out there and perform. You know, I mean, obviously I trust Giannis. Like Giannis is gonna do his thing, but if he has no one else to come over with him, I just don't know how much I trust this Bucks team. And I'm very interested to see what the offseason looks like. If let's say they do, it looks like they might lose in the first round. If that does happen again for the third straight year, then what are the changes that are gonna come in Milwaukee? It's just been real tough to watch this team kind of fall a little bit. At 13, we have the Detroit Pistons. They are 42 and 33 at 5th in the East. They have the 12th rated offense, 9th rated defense, and are 11th in net rating. They dropped down 2 spots from last power ranking video. Detroit's still been doing Detroit. They have now tripled their win total from last season, which is absolutely insane to think about. Kate Cunningham has still been doing his thing. You know, he has missed a couple games. And they're fine. The role players are really finding themselves. Malik Beasley's still been good. But then you have, Jalen Duren has been playing a lot better recently. Ron Holland is really finding his role on this team as an energy wing. Asar's been doing good. Isaiah Stewart, the Bad Boys 2.0, I guess, is back. And they've been finding a lot. Last night they had 4 people and their coach ejected and all this type of stuff. Trying to hold on to that 5 seed, maybe even, not impossible that they host. I mean, they're only, 1.5 games behind Indiana. It's very realistic that the Pistons are going to host a playoff series this year. That is insane to think about. If you would have told someone that at the beginning of the year, they would have thought you were smoking. It's nuts what Detroit has done this year, and let's see how they finish it out. At 12, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are 43 and 32 at 7th in the West. They have the 9th rated offense, 6th rated defense, and 6th in net rating. They jump up 3 spots from last power ranking video. Minnesota is slowly starting to find themselves. They've been a team all year that I've been saying has been kind of inconsistent. One week, you're like, oh, this is the Timberwolves team. This is going to be a great team. Then another week where you're like, dang, what happened? It's been very up and down, up and down. But in the month of March, they won an 8-game win streak, got some good wins. And it was like, okay, here comes Minnesota. Since then, they're 3-3. They've won 2 games in a row. And they're starting to look a little bit more like, the Timberwolves that we expected to come into this season. Julius Randle, I think, is really finding his way on this team. Since coming back from injury in the month of March, probably had his best month of the season. Jaden McDaniels is still looking like the Jaden McDaniels where he's popping off and doing some more things. And just a lot of this team is just looking more and more, cohesive as time goes on. And this is a perfect time to really start getting their stuff together. And they're still trying to climb out of that playing spot. They're battling with the Warriors, trying to climb out and get into that 6th spot. But it's been, it's been a lot better looking at Minnesota than what it usually has been. So I'm very interested to see how they end out this season and see if they can maybe climb up, because they're going to be a very tough matchup in the first round to whoever plays them. At 11, we have the LA Clippers. They are 42 and 32 at 8 in the East. 8 in the West. They have the 18th rated offense, 3rd rated defense, and are 9th in net rating. They jump up 1 spot from last power ranking video. The Clippers have been looking very good recently. They won 7 of their last 9 games, gotten some good wins. And I mean, things are starting to look good for them. I mean, they're still kind of down in this play-in spot, trying to get up to that 6th spot again. And they're still fighting with Warriors and the Timberwolves and stuff. But the Clippers are going to be a very dangerous team to whoever plays them, especially if they're playing like this. We already know what type of defense they have. They have the 3rd rated defense in the league. They're an elite defensive team. You had James Harden. Norman Powell's back, and he looked very good yesterday against Cleveland. Zubac has been playing amazing. Tyler Lue's a good coach. You have good role players, guys like Chris Dunn, Derrick Jones Jr., Nick Batum, Bogdan Bogdanovic, guys that can come in and give you good minutes in a playoff series. And then you have Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard, for the past 2 weeks in the month of March, Kawhi Leonard has looking like the Kawhi Leonard that we know. He's had some big moments, some big games, huge shots, and if Kawhi Leonard is playing like this going into playoff time, it can get very scary for a top team. Like they say, they match up with a team like the Rockets or the Nuggets or something like that. It can get very, dangerous for one of these top teams. This is not a team. This is not an easy first round matchup to whoever plays them. For the Clippers. They are a tough team, a really good team, and could be a little bit of a dark horse in the Western Conference. This team right now is looking, kind of dangerous, and if they're coming to playoff time, playing the way they're playing right now, again, they can make anything really competitive. At number 10, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. They are 44 and 30 at 5th in the West. They have the 6th rated offense, 12th rated defense, and are 5th in net rating. They dropped down 5 spots from last power ranking video, tied with the Heat for the biggest drop in these power rankings. The Grizzlies just haven't been as great in the second half of the season. Their defense has really fallen down a lot. They've had some really tough losses. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games currently right now. And then they fired Taylor Jenkins. They fired Taylor Jenkins. Let oh my god, I forgot their coach's name. I just remembered what his name. Well, I just learned how to pronounce his name, and now I can't remember off the top of my head. But their new coach, who they brought in from overseas, who looked like, now it's looking like they knew he was going to be the coach the whole time. Basically, they just wanted to give him this opportunity now because they realized, we're not very great right now, so let's give him a chance to see what he can do in the last couple games of the season and in the playoffs. They also fired a lot of their coaching staff as well, so it looks like going to be a whole new coaching staff for next season. Questionable with the timing of it, where we're about to be in April and you put in a new head coach. That's very risky stuff, but maybe they're kind of throwing in a I don't want to say throw a towel because again, you're going to be a top. You might have home court advantage in a playoff series, so throwing in the towel is crazy. But just giving this guy some experience, I guess they kind of knew the writing on the wall. We're probably not going to make it too far in the playoffs this year, so let's just get this guy some reps early, rather than later. So I can kind of say from that perspective. But yeah, things just have not been as great. Again, their defense has just not been great. Hasn't been as good as we know the Grizzlies defense can be. Injuries have just been kind of kicking players in and out of the lineup. It's just not been great for the Grizzlies over the past month. So hopefully maybe they can find something with this new rejuvenated, team. They do have some tough games coming up against Boston, Golden State, Detroit. They play Denver and Dallas the last 2 games of the season. Minnesota, they play a game against them. So it's going to be a tougher schedule. So maybe we'll see what the Grizzlies team is actually made of. There's a thing going around that they're 1-10, I think 1-11 now against over 500 teams or playoff teams since coming back from All-Star break, with the loss to the Lakers the other night. So it's been really tough sledding for Memphis. Let's just see if they can close it out on a good note. At number 9, we have the Indiana Pacers. They're 43-31, fourth in the East. They have the 8th rated offense, 16th rated defense, and a 13th in net rating. They stay the same from last power ranking video. The Pacers, since the turn of 2025, have been one of the best teams in the NBA. They have really even exceeded my expectations a little bit. I thought they were, going to be good, solid, but they honestly have been better than what I expected. They've gotten some really nice wins. They went on a 5-game win streak where they beat some good teams, some close games. They just put up 162 on the Wizards. They lost on a Laker game winner. If without the LeBron game winner, they're on a 6-game win streak until they did lose to OKC the other night. But who doesn't lose to OKC? But the Pacers are actually a really good team. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton is really finding his groove. Pascal Siakam has just been consistently, steadily good. They're getting good production from guys like Bennedict Mathurin, Miles Turner. Obi Toppin is giving some good minutes off the bench. Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Nesmith are healthy now. Even Jarace Walker, TJ McConnell, those guys give them good minutes. And this Pacers team, I mean, they've been average defensively, which is good for them. Usually they're a below average, but they've been average defensively. And their offense is really starting to click in again. So this is not an easy Pacer team. Do I think their contenders are going to make it out of the East? No, I'm not saying that. But this is not a, this is a team that definitely can win a series and make a second one a lot more competitive than people realize. So I think, if Cleveland and Boston weren't as dominant as they have been and weren't like that's going to be the conference finals matchup, the Pacers would be a very sneaky team in the Eastern Conference. Again, that's why I can't say they can go super far because you have those two juggernauts in the Eastern Conference. But if those teams weren't as much of juggernauts as they are, the Pacers would be a team that would, could do some things. So this is a very sneaky good Indiana team. At number 8, we have the Golden State Warriors. They are 43-31 at 6th. Yeah, they're 6th in the West. They have the 16th rated offense, 7th rated defense, and a 10th in net rating. They jump up 5 spots in last power ranking video, tied with the Bulls for the biggest jump in these power rankings. For the Warriors, since Jimmy's coming to town, they've been really good. In the month of March, they went 11-14. They were on a 7-game win streak, then lost a game, then won 2 back-to-back tough losses in Atlanta and Miami, but they bounced back with 2 wins that they should win against New Orleans, and then they put up 148 on San Antonio the other day. So, the Warriors are looking good. Jimmy Butler has been a great addition to this team. Players are really stepping up. Steph has been on a heater. Draymond has even been scoring a lot more recently. You get Brandon Pajemski's had some big moments. Moses Moody's looking pretty good. Quentin Post has been a really great find for this team. The defense is getting better. The offense looks a lot more pure. And this team is just really clicking right now. And they're going to be a team that, when it comes to playoff time and stuff, if they do skip the play-in and make it into the playoffs. Like, they're gonna be a tough team, definitely a tough team. I mean, you have the experience of Steph, Draymond, Kerr, Jimmy, like those guys right there. That's a experience, and depending on the matchups, they definitely could make a conference finals run. I mean, this is a really good Warrior team that's really clicking right now, and I want to see how they close out the year, where they match up, because of course matchups in the playoffs are everything basically. But this is a Warriors team that's playing very well. They've really rejuvenated and turned their season around. At 7, we have the LA Lakers. They are 45 and 29 at 4th in the West. They have the 13th rated offense, 15th rated defense, and are 14th in net rating. They jump up one spot from last power ranking video. The Lakers, month of March was very up and down. They started off, I mean, they won that 7-game win streak, or 8-game win streak when they first got Luka, and it was like, dang, here we go. Then LeBron missed some games. They won a 4-game losing streak. Then they're a 3-game win streak, 3-game losing streak, and now they're kind of going back and forth, back and forth. Beat Indiana, suffered a crazy loss to Chicago where Josh Giddey hit a game winner, and then they beat Memphis. So it's kind of been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth the last couple of games. But this Laker team is looking good. I mean, the defense kind of took a little bit of a hit recently, but it's starting to slowly get back into shape. Luka Doncic is finding his rhythm. He's been on a heater. LeBron James is back from injury, and he's slowly starting to get back into rhythm. Austin Reeves has just been incredible. As of recently, Rui Hachimura's back. They're getting good production from Dorian Finney-Smith. Jackson Hayes looks really good. Gabe Vincent is even hitting some shots. You got Jared Vanderbilt back and playing. Even Jordan Goodwin has had some good moments where, they signed him to a regular contract, which I think is deserved, because I think he's a really good piece for this team. And yeah, the Lakers are just they're kind of rolling right now. Similar to the Warriors. Like, they're just kind of rolling. You have LeBron and Luka. Obviously, you kind of have a chance to win every given night. Add in, Austin Reeves playing less as great of a third option. This defense playing really good on the perimeter and really limiting a lot of different things. Like, this is a really good Laker team. And again, a Laker team that, depending on the matchups and stuff, can easily make a conference finals run. When you have two basketball, game breakers like LeBron and Luka, you're going to have a chance to win. So this is a very intriguing Laker team. I'm very excited to see how they look in a playoff series. I think everybody is really excited to see how they look, for the next 2 months. At 3, we have the New York Knicks. They are 47 and 27 at 3rd in the East. They have the 5th rated offense, 13th rated defense, 7th in net rating. They stay the same from last power ranking. The Knicks lost Jalen Brunson for a couple games, for a while, actually, basically the entire month of March. And they kind of were like lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. They won games. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, so they're starting to really find their rhythm without JB. Cat's been really stepping up. Josh Hart's been really good. OG Anunoby's been hot over the past week. And yeah, they're still winning games. Still a team that, again, is going to win good games. Even Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek has really come in and has stepped up a lot as kind of being the backup point guard, basically, with Brunson and McBride are both missing games. So he's really stepped up and has played well. And yeah, the Knicks are, a team that they win against. They win the games they're supposed to win. They're going to have good record. They're obviously going to really need Jalen Brunson back, and I think he should be coming back hopefully in the next couple of days to see, right before the playoffs start, to see how they do in a playoff year. At 5, we have the Denver Nuggets. They are 47 and 28 at 3rd in the West. They have the 3rd rated offense, 20th rated defense on their 8th in net rating. They dropped down 1 spot from last power ranking video. Nuggets have still been kind of rolling. They beat the teams they're supposed to beat. They play good. Nikola Jokic is still having an insane season. Russell Westbrook's back. Aaron Gordon is back. And they're starting to get healthy at the right time. Playing well. Christian Brown's having a really good year. Michael Porter Jr.'s had some good games. Jamal Murray has been finding himself in the past couple months. So yeah, this is still a really tough Nuggets team. Still a Nuggets team that can beat you on any given night because they have the best player in the world. And yeah, there's not really much more to say. Just excited to see who their matchup is going to be in the first round, really. At 4, we have the Houston Rockets. They are 49 and 26 at 2nd in the West. They have the 11th rated offense, 4th rated defense, and are 4th in net rating. They jump up 3 spots from last power ranking video. The Rockets are maybe the hottest team in the NBA right now. They've won 12 of their last 13 games, only lost to Denver. They've been on it. They've been playing really good defense. They've been getting some really, really good wins, putting up some numbers. And this team is looking really good right now. I mean, Jalen Green has been hot. Amen Thompson's back and playing. Dylan Brooks, we got Fred VanVleet's back. Şengün is still doing his thing. Like, this Rockets team is really, really clicking right now after having a little bit of a struggle going into around All-Star break. But now they're starting to really click and having, a second seed in the West. You can't really do much better. The Rockets, they're about to be a 50-win team, which is crazy. If you would have said that to someone at the beginning of the year, would have thought you were crazy. But man, they have just been on another level. And I'm very excited. I think everybody's really interested to see how they do in the playoff series. They're still very young. They only have a lot of players, except for maybe like Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks, that actually have playoff experience. in the rotation. And I guess Steven Adams too, Jeff Green on the end of the bench. But their main guys are usually a lot of guys that haven't been in a playoff series before. So very interested to see that. But when you have Ime, you have solid vets, the good defense that they have. The only thing again is their youth and their lack of having a go-to star player. But maybe Jalen Green or Alperen Sengun really turn up and become that guy in the playoffs. Who knows? But this is definitely a very tough, series. They're the team where everybody's like, dang, maybe everyone wants to play the Rockets in the first round, but they're not going to be easy. I mean, they are a 50-something win team for a reason. They have good players, great defense, and a good coach that could put them in the good spot that has been in this situation before. So I'm very excited to see how this Rockets team does in April. At 3, we have the Boston Celtics. They are 55-19 at second in the East. They have the second rated offense, 5th rated defense, and our 3rd net rating. They say the same from last Power Ranking video. The Celtics have been dominant. They are looking like the dominant Boston Celtics that we know. Since the month of February started, they are 21-4. They've won 21 of the last 25 games. They only lost one game in March. In March, they went 13-1 in March. The only loss was against OKC. So they have been just cleaning through the league over the past couple months. Again, 21-4 in their last 25. They're looking like the reigning champ Boston Celtics that we're used to seeing. And that's even with Jason Tatum missing a game here and there, Jaylen Brown missing a game here and there, Jrue Holiday missed a couple games, Porzingis is finally back. Like, they haven't been fully healthy or fully complete for a lot of these games, yet they're still just kind of cleaning house. So they have just looking like the dominant team that we're used to seeing. This is usually where the dominant teams start to really get going, end out the year well, and then we get into the playoffs. So the Celtics, despite, Cleveland is amazing, OKC is amazing, but Boston is right in there with them as contenders because those guys, man, Boston is just, again, I've said it all year, they're not a team you want to face in a 7-game series. They proved that last year. In a 7-game series, I don't know if I'm taking a lot of teams, if any, over Boston. So they're playing very well right now, and I cannot wait to see how they go on their quests for their second one. At 2, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are 60-15 at first in the East. They have the first offense, 8th defense, and our second in net rating. They dropped down one spot from last Power Ranking video. But the Cavs, they were on a 16-game win streak at one point. Then they went on a little 4-game losing skid, on the West Coast, and people were getting really worried, like, oh no, here come the Cavs gonna fall. Oh no, oh no, oh no. And now they won 4 of their last 5. They just beat the Clippers the other day in a really good win. And yeah, it was just, a little losing skid. Yeah, usually if you go back through history, and people are putting this on the timeline and stuff, go back through history, teams that have won championship, teams that are really good, usually go on a little bit of skid around this point, because at this point it's just like, okay, we're 56-10. It gets kind of like, all right, we're bored, and we're human also. Like, it's going to happen. They haven't had really a losing skid like this all season. They've had one 3-game losing streak in January, and that's it. And then they had this one, a 4-game one. So it's like, haven't really done it. It happens to the best of us, So yeah, nothing to worry about with Cleveland. They're still a contender. They're still one of the most dominant teams in the NBA, and still going to win 60-plus games. Oh, well, they have won 60 now. It's just for the plus. See how many games they can win. So yeah, they've just been on another level of dominant. And number 1, we have the OKC Thunder. They are 62-12, best record in the NBA. They have the 4th rated offense, 1st in defense, 1st in net rating. They jump up 1 spot from last Power Ranking video. And yeah, can cruise into the league. They've won 9 in a row. They've won, 16 of the last 17 games. They lose a game here and there just because they kind of have to. But they just been rolling. Really rolling. I'm looking at their game log right now in front of me. It's nuts. Like, they've had 1 losing streak. In November, they lost 2 in a row. That's it. Since then, it's like 4 wins, then a win. 15-game win streak, and then a loss. 4 wins, then a loss. Then they won 15 in a row. And from December and January, lost 1. Won 4 in a row, lost 1. Won 2. Then they went lost 1, won 1, lost 1. 7 wins in a row, lost 1. 2 wins in a row, lost 1. 7 in a row, lost 1. And now currently they've won 9 in a row. They're probably going to lose another one at some point. Maybe at the end of the year, like, I guess one of the Lakers back-to-back, maybe the Lakers get them once, maybe the Rockets get them, but at this point, it's just like, we're just playing for, let's see how many wins we can get at this point. Like, they've just been dominant, made probably the most dominant team in the NBA this season, probably have the MVP in Shea, everything's just been clicking, and now it's just like, playoff time. Let's see if we can win the West. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications, do also like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Once again, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer, days go on, so all support on our channel be very much appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.